Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been about a week, maybe a week and a half since my first Med-Surg exam. Well, for my class it's called Care Management, but it's basically a Med-Surg course. I really started out strong this semester once I got my mind right, and there's a couple of things that I did to get a really good score on my first exam, which I am super excited about. I did a lot of different things, and I incorporated a couple of new things that I typically didn't do. I watched a lot of videos about this class, so I already kind of know like this is kind of a difficult class, so I want to be on my A game and make sure that I was ahead. This semester I've done things a little bit different. A couple of you guys have also asked me to do a plan with me video. I guess you want to see my planner, and I am gonna do that, but right now I'm just gonna be giving study tips on what I'm doing differently than I did in the past. Y'all, I am not an all-A student in nursing school. Nursing school, like I told y'all in videos before, it's a lot different than regular school. So if you're used to making all A's and you get B's and maybe even some C's here and there, it's okay. I always encourage everybody, like, just pass and make it to the next test or make it to the next class. And even if you don't pass the exam, get with your I don't know if everybody's school has this, but we have like advisors or care coordinators that help with study tips. We also have a tutoring service with our academic advisor, and we have peer tutors so that you can get with your classmates and stuff like that. Always use the resources, okay? Okay, so the very first thing that I did differently this semester than what I did in the past was I did complete the readings before class. So with my class, we have 2 books, and it was highly recommended, even though I hate buying extra books, highly recommended to go ahead and get the Med-Surg book, which I'm going to show y'all in a minute, and review the ATI book. Y'all, the ATI, I know a lot of people complain about like the ATI and taking exams, but they're literally like straight to the point. There are also practice quizzes in the back. There's also dynamic quizzes that you can do when you go on to ATI website. I like doing those quizzes because not only does it prepare me for the exam that I'm about to take, but it gives me NCLEX style questions. Select all and apply, a lot of those, and also just allows me to get like my style of thinking. In the past I didn't do that, and I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't do very well on my ATI exit exams. If you don't know what the ATI exit exam is, it's basically like at the end of the course, in addition to your coursework, you take the ATI exit exam to see what your pass rate or what do they call it, what's your likelihood of being able to pass the NCLEX. So it kind of gives you a general idea. I've only passed 2 of those. The other classes I've gotten like proficient or below proficient, in which my class we do I forgot what it's called, but we do remediation. And so at the end, if you don't get a certain score with your program, they make you go back and do things like the remediation templates in ATI. And if you do ATI, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If your program doesn't use ATI, you are still able to use the NCLEX Saunders book, which also has practice questions in it. So here's my first book. This is the book that I use for ATI, in which we're using for this semester. I actually already have some labels, y'all. I love these labels, and I love getting like a skinny permanent marker. I can go straight to what I'm looking for. I don't have to flip all through the book. I did all the readings, and I did it before class, and if I didn't get a chance to do it before class, I did go back and read it after class. I also did all of the practice questions, and I typed the practice questions up so that I can quiz myself, and so that my husband can quiz me. It's not really about memorizing the questions. but it's more so just to like be able to identify the answer. And I also had him, I typed him out and I put the answer key on there and he quizzed me, and that was super helpful. Because I wasn't just reading it and I actually had to think about the question. So this is the book that we used and we did the readings. Usually for my course it's like 2 to 3 chapters. The chapters aren't very long, and also I don't know about everybody, but our clinical instructors and our professors, they also give outlines. So I don't really read. Somebody did ask me before, like, how do I fit in all the readings? I look at what I'm going to read based off of what's on the PowerPoint or what's on the objectives. And basically, I kind of look for what I'm reading. I highlight the points, and most times it's already on the PowerPoint, but I'm just doing the reading just to get a better understanding. I promise you, if you read the material, then you will just be able to remember stuff a little bit easier. And like I said, this is the first time I've read this semester. Then my second book, y'all, is this book. It looks a hot mess. It is a rental book, but this is the Med-Surg book that I think most nursing programs are using. There's 2 of them, Med-Surg 1 and Med-Surg 2. This book is rented from Amazon, so these are not my tabs. I highly recommend that you rent your books instead of buying them on Amazon this year. I think I got 2 books. I have 2 classes right now, and then I'll have another one in a couple of weeks. But I rent these books for $20, and if you put that you're a student, you automatically get Amazon Student Prime, so it comes in 2 days. You don't have to wait. Sometimes it comes before 2 days. This book is very, very, very long. The reading is not, it's not a breeze like ATI, but again, I don't go through reading every line. I highly suggest that when you are reading, you're kind of like skimming, and then when you see something you recognize or something that is on your objectives that your professor gives out or your outline or whatever the case may be, that's when I stop and I take my time and I read the material. Also, this book has a lot of practice questions in here. I also typed those up. It also has an answer key in the back so that you can quiz yourself and see if you're interpreting the information the way that you should. And those are the 2 books that I use. So I skim the readings in both books, and I make sure I connect it with my PowerPoint, and I also do every single practice question, type them up, and I have my husband quiz them. So that's an extra step that I took. The reading does take a while. Don't try to do it all in one day, okay? That's the problem. We try to sit and read all the chapters in one day. I typically like to read 2 chapters a day before the next class. My classes for this class are on Mondays and Fridays, so I have a good gap in between to where I can get it done, okay? Okay, so I kind of already shared 2 things with y'all. I review the PowerPoints that are submitted from class. I do complete the readings, and I do all of the practice questions and type them up and allow someone else to quiz me, such as my husband, my friend, classmate, whoever. So those are the first 2 things that I did a little bit differently. The third thing that I did this year was after each class, I went through the PowerPoint and I made outlines typing up of what I felt was important. Basically, and if y'all want to see this, I can show you when I study for my next test, but I don't want to put it up on the screen. But basically, whatever notes that I take on my PowerPoints, y'all know that I am a paperless student. Whatever notes that I take on the PowerPoint that I have on my iPad, I write down extra things. I highlight those things during class. And then when I get home, I start my outline, which is typing what is the system, what's the objective, what should I be learning from that system, and what are the nursing implications, what are the adverse effects of any medications that you're giving, any precautions and things like that, or anything specific to what we talked about in class. I typed it up. I also do a lot of color coding. I make an outline, and I do that every single day. So in addition to the reading before class, then going to class, and then going over the material that we talked about in class and creating an outline, I'm basically studying 3 times. So that information is just drilling into my head. So that's another thing that I did. It worked very, very well for me. I was able to finish the outline way ahead. And again, I just basically printed it to my GoodNotes. That is the app that I use to take notes. It's an app. I don't know if it's a monthly fee. I don't think that it is. I think it's a one-time fee. But I love the app because I'm able to put all my notes in one folder, go ahead, and every time I print something, I print it as a PDF and I save it on my iPad. One reason why I love GoodNotes so much is because if you have iPhone, so I have a Mac, an iPad, and an iPhone. When I save that stuff to the cloud, it's always on my phone. So if I'm just somewhere and I'm not doing anything and I don't have my iPad, I'll go ahead and just skim the stuff while I'm on my phone. And that was another way that I studied. And the last thing that I studied, which was something that I don't normally do, and this is going to be my first sponsorship video, I used an app called Picmonic. I have seen other people use this app before, and I've always been like, nah, I don't know if I like it. But basically, Picmonic is an app that uses pictures and photos to kind of tell you a storyline, to help you remember certain drugs. It's really catchy. I also had a deck of flashcards that kind of reminded me of this before, and I'll show those to you. I don't use flashcards, but I did use them a lot for pharmacology. I made flashcards and I used flashcards. I didn't use the ones that were just written out. I like the ones that had the pictures on them, because when you're taking a test, the first thing you're going to think about is the storyline. So I didn't think that it was going to help me that much, but I was so excited to get the opportunity to review it. I loved it, and I do know that it was a contributing factor. There were several questions on my exam that I did reference back to those stories that I did. In addition to that, the app has practice questions from like Saunders. Not practice questions, but practice scenarios. So if there's a specific topic that you want to go over, you can go to that book. You can find the book, you can find the body system, you can find the drug, whatever it is that you're looking for or that you're studying. It has a table of contents, and then it shows you all the different stories that they have for that specific subject or area of study that you're focusing on then. I loved it. I actually have an affiliate link that I am going to post in the description box below so that you can try it out. I believe you can try it out for 7 days for free. Y'all, I promise you it's worth the subscription. I'm not even saying that. Even if I didn't do the free, I still have it, and I'm going to use it on my next test. And I'm so excited that I actually was able to get my first A in nursing school, and I know that it's because I did all the things. And I also would like to say thank you to Picmonic for giving me the opportunity to review that. I really believe that it helped me on my test, and I will continue to use it in the future. Again, if you want to use it, go ahead and click the link in my bio so that you can get access to it. Try it out and let me know what you think. Like I said, it's not something that I thought that I would be able to use, because I'm kind of like a pen and paper. Just give me the topic, let me read it. I'm gonna just keep reading it. But I'm telling you, those stories, you will remember it. A couple of other tips that I have as far as studying is I do use a couple of people on YouTube that I watch, and I'm going to share their videos below. And I love watching other people explain information. So it's kind of like somebody teaching you a specific topic, and then you going back and teaching it to somebody else. Y'all, sometimes I even sit up and I talk to my kids, I talk to myself. Do whatever works for you, but those are my suggestions. I'm going to put the nursing pages that I watch. Level Up RN, I also have some of her flashcards that I did order for pharmacology. She also has some Med-Surg cards that I saw one of my classmates using, and I'm this close to buying them. But for right now, I'm going to just stick to watching her videos. I also watch Simple Nurse. I think it's called Simple Nursing. He also tells a lot of stories. I used him very heavily for pharm, and we'll be using it for Med-Surg as well. And then of course I use RegisteredNurseRN. I also sometimes take a look at the crash course page, and I kind of look and see like anything that I just don't understand or that's just not clicking, and when I take practice questions, you can type in the stuff that you're struggling with on those pages, and I guarantee you they'll have a video that you can use. Some of them are long and some of them are short. Sometimes you have to rewatch them. A good tip is when you're in a car, instead of listening to music, listen to them talk about those things. On YouTube, you can also create a playlist of videos. So if you know that you're going over a specific subject, you can just put those videos in a playlist, and while you're in the car, just play them. Even if you're not actively listening, I feel that if you're just like have it playing in the background, you're gonna remember that. Again, those are my top 5 things that I did differently to be able to get that score on my first Med-Surg exam. And just to recap, okay, you guys, I do the readings before classes. I do all the practice questions, and I type them up so that someone can quiz me on them. Then after class is over, I go ahead and create my outline over the material that was important during class. I use Picmonic. Also, I listen to those videos on YouTube while I'm doing stuff, while I'm cleaning, while I'm in the car. And I think that just doing those things every day on a regular basis, all of those things truly help me. Like I said, y'all, I'm not an all-A student. Never got an A in nursing school, but this time I did. And I'm so excited and I'm so thankful because I was so worried about this class. And again, just make sure you're studying a little bit every day. One thing that I think I did wrong the first semester was I did procrastinate. You cannot procrastinate in nursing school because it's so much material that you literally have to study every day. Also, if you're taking multiple classes like me, you really have to carve out your time and say, okay, for 2 hours I'm gonna study this, and for 2 hours I'm gonna study that. So make sure you're using your time wisely, and good luck. And if y'all want to see anything else or you have questions about anything that I mentioned, make sure you drop that in the comment below. Also, make sure you subscribe. Y'all, I'm almost to 500 subscribers. I'm so excited. I know that might not seem like a lot, but I remember when I was excited when I got 100 subscribers. So make sure you subscribe if you've been watching my videos and you haven't subscribed yet. And if you have any other videos, I already know y'all want to see the plan with me. I've gotten that question a lot. Anything specific that you want to see on my channel, put it in the comments. Make sure you like this video as well, and I'll see y'all in the next one.